Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bookmakers Review. We are BMR and we are covering the Premier League today, the greatest league in the world, I would venture. I'm Martin Green. Matt Lawerence is alongside me. We're representing our teams today. Matt, how are you feeling about the Premier League title race? Do you think Liverpool can go all the way and win it?
I believe that they're going to be in there, in the thick of it for the long haul. It looks like it's going to be a three-way battle: Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. Can't ever count them out as well, but it definitely looks like a three-horse race it's gonna come down, for all 38 matches. Really, like it's gonna take everything out of these teams to try and lift this title.
Don't forget about Arsenal, Matt. They're not too far behind.
A top four would be huge, Martin.
No, three-horse title race, and yeah, Chelsea out in front now. But Liverpool have been so impressive in recent weeks. Man City, it kind of just depends if they're if they have too many more games where they draw a blank. I think they could struggle. It's just missing that focal point in attack sometimes. But yeah, they've also been terrific in recent weeks. But we're going to start in North London with the mighty Arsenal coming up against the world's richest club, Newcastle United. Should be a good game. It's early kickoff. It's a lunchtime game in the UK, so that'll be 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. You have to get up at about 4 in the morning if you want to watch it in California, but I think it'll be worth it because it's going to be a great game. What are your thoughts on this one, Matt?
When you look at the head-to-heads, it's something that's, Arsenal, this is a fixture that they relish. They've really dominated Newcastle United, and Newcastle are, really not in a great way right now. Dead last. I think that, they just are really struggling to collect all, 3 points in matches. They had a 3-3 thriller with Brentford last weekend, and, they normally score a goal, but their defense is so leaky. I would be finding a way to get Arsenal onside in any way, shape, or form in a parlay bet. They look really good. I just really struggled to figure out if I wanted to take this match over 1.5 or under 4.5 because it's hard to predict the game flow of this one. But Arsenal at home have been very strong, and yeah, I think that Arsenal in a parlay piece looks really good.
Yeah, I agree. Arsenal have a terrific record against Newcastle, won their last 7 games against the Magpies. If you go a bit further back, they've won 17 of their last 18 matches against Newcastle. So they really, really dominate this fixture, which is good for me. All my in-laws are from Newcastle, so it's good to it's good to have that one thing that Arsenal can still cling on to. But yeah, Newcastle bottom of the league, can't start splashing the cash until January. I think they're going to struggle in this game, to be honest. They leak goals, terrible defensive record, and Eddie Howe's not the most pragmatic of coaches. I don't think he's going to tighten that defence up in any way, shape or form. So I would probably be more inclined to go for Arsenal and overs. You can get about even money, plus 100 on Arsenal to win an over 2.5 goals. I think that looks quite good. Newcastle's games averaged 3.5 goals so far this season. Arsenal 2.67 goals per game at home, sorry. But in the end, I just went for Arsenal minus 1.25 on the Asian handicap. I think they can win this one by 2 clear goals. Obviously, a bad performance last weekend, but I just got a feeling that they can bounce back against the Newcastle team that they're just struggling badly. So that's my take on it. Next, we are going up to Anfield for Liverpool versus Southampton. Liverpool used to struggle a bit against Southampton, didn't they, Matt? But then they just bought all of Southampton's best players. that quite quickly changed things. So it's Van Dijk and Sadio Mane going up against their former club. Surely this has got to be a comfortable win for Liverpool.
I believe it will be. Yeah, I think that finding a way to get Liverpool on your side is a smart move here at Anfield. Southampton have struggled a little bit this season, really struggling to find the back of the net. But I think that Liverpool here, like you mentioned, they just decided to buy all of Southampton's best players, and that's great for Liverpool and not great for Southampton. But I mean, if you look at it, 2 of the last 3, Liverpool have won this fixture to nil, and that's where I would be going here. That's where I'm going to go. It's at plus 140. It's a nice price. I think that Van Dijk was left out in the midweek Champions League match, and he'll be rested and ready to go. Not sure who he'll pair with, if it's Matip or Konate, but yeah, I think that they should overwhelm Southampton. I think that as well, if you don't have like a book that you can take win to nil at, I think taking the Asian handicap line of minus 1.5 also looks good here. I think that they win this by 2 clear goals and win this by a margin. So yeah, Liverpool all the way for me.
Yeah, copy and paste. I totally agree with you. We don't confer before putting our picks through, but I also went for Liverpool to win this game to nil, just because they, like you said, the head-to-head record between the teams, they often keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, just have a psychological advantage over them. And it's perhaps a bit risky because Southampton have found the back of the net in 5 out of 6 away games so far this season, and they have looked pretty dynamic going forward recently. But then you think that, Arsenal were in very good form and Liverpool shut them down with ease. So they could easily do a similar job on Southampton. Yeah, I mean, if your sportsbook doesn't do win to nil, some people have told me that you can do a same game parlay with Liverpool to win and then both teams to score no, which achieves that goal. Or yeah, if you've got quite a limited range of betting options, Liverpool to cover the standard spread that the sports books are offering does look appealing in this one, because they really should be superior to Southampton. Agreed. Okay, next up we have the mighty Norwich, who recently changed their manager, brought in Dean Smith after sacking Daniel Farke. And they're coming up against the Wolves team, Matt, that have really been rejuvenated in recent weeks. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think that when you look at it last season, Wolves won this fixture home and away, 2-1 and 3-0. And yeah, I mean, Wolves are doing pretty well. Look at them, sitting 6th in the table. Norwich finally getting out of the bottom. But yeah, I don't think that this new managerial balance is going to really be able to save Norwich. I think that they're buying Dean Smith for the future outlook and to see if he can bring them back up from the championship next season. But yeah, Wolves are in pretty darn good form, and this is not a team that I would want to be coming up against. Giving me a plus price here on the road side is interesting to me. I think that this might, up until kickoff, I could see this, swapping and Wolves, becoming odds on, maybe in the minus 105 or somewhere closer to even money. So yeah, plus 120, 2.2 on an away win, and with a good, in-form Wolves side. I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, it's a massive price, isn't it? I'm just looking here. Everyone's got them at plus money. You can get plus 120. One little sportsbook's even offering plus 125 there on Wolves now. The odds are drifting a bit, which is an amazing price when you consider how good Wolves have been in recent weeks. And yes, Norwich have won 2 on the bounce. And yes, they have got a new manager, which has seemingly galvanised the squad. But it's still the same Norwich team that are pretty terrible. They still don't have a great deal of quality within their ranks. So I'm definitely leaning towards Wolves here. Not pulling the trigger on it for an official play, but yeah, if I had to, I would be going for a Wolves win there as well. The odds look fantastic. Right, next up, Crystal Palace, who have just impressed all season long, really. They're coming up against Aston Villa, who also had the new manager bounce with Steven Gerrard taking the reins at Villa Park. But Crystal Palace, tough nut to crack, Matt. Haven't lost in several weeks. Do you think they can get the job done here, or what's your take?
This is a match that I just really struggled to find the value. I think that a lot of people were on an unders in Steven Gerrard's first matchup, and I think that was rightly so because he just wanted to keep it tight. And then they scored 2 goals basically from the 75th minute on, and it was a great start to life under Steven Gerrard, who is a is a really good manager. I think the way that he started out his career by going to Scotland and managing Rangers was a smart move. Not to get involved in the Premier League or the Championship, and just to groom his managerial tactics a little bit. And in this one, though, coming up against a hot Palace, it makes me want to completely swerve this match. I think that either team could win it, and I think that this game could go any way. Some of these Crystal Palace matches have been really high scoring, so I could see it going unders. I could see it going over. It's just a complete stay away for me.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. This is a very easy pass from me. Haven't quite worked out Aston Villa yet with the new manager. They've got a lot of good players in their ranks. I'd say they've got more quality than Crystal Palace, but they're on the road. Palace haven't lost in a while. Probably go for a draw if I had to go for something here, but yeah, don't like the look of this one at all. Much more lower hanging fruit going the card this weekend. So we're going to move on to Brighton on the south coast versus Leeds United. Brighton couldn't find the back of the net against Aston Villa, lost to 0, and they haven't won in a long time now. They are falling fast. Gone down to 9th in the table, but things aren't looking great for them. They really need to turn it around, Matt. Coming up against the Leeds team that are 17th, do you think this is an opportunity for the Seagulls to flap their wings again and soar up the table?
I definitely think so. I mean, this is a good bounce back spot. Leeds are in really poor form. I've been watching. I just finished season 2 of the Leeds show on Amazon Prime, and have you seen that at all, Martin?
I have not. No, is it good?
Oh, it's really good. It's from the championship days, so it's it's like the 2 seasons before they were brought up in the Premier League, and it's you see in there that they had times where they struggled when they had injuries, and it feels like the same kind of thing is happening right now. They just don't have a really deep squad to be able to compete in this league when things go the wrong way in terms of injuries, and so. But I still love Leeds to be able to score goals. Both of these matches the last season were won by Brighton to 0. So Leeds have got to concoct something here to be able to get on the score sheet. They've scored a few goals in their last. They've scored in all of their last 3 meetings, 4 out of the last 5. So I think that they'll be able to score on Brighton, and I think that Brighton will score as well. So I've gone with BTTS yes here. Not the greatest price, but I think that it should be able to cash here at the Amex. And yeah, I think that Brighton just squeeze it. Maybe this is a 2-1 to Brighton, but yeah, both teams to score for me on this.
Okay, great. Yeah, Brighton beat Leeds home and away last season, but yeah, it's a good opportunity for them to bounce back to winning ways. I was just very underwhelmed by their performance last weekend, so I passed this one. But that sounds like an interesting play. Okay, next up we go to West London, Brentford versus Everton. Everton, what a shocking season they're having. Came flying out of the blocks, but winless in a long time, down to 11th in the table. Things aren't looking great for them and for Rafa Benitez. They're coming up against the Brentford team, Matt, that have started to run out of steam a bit as well. Carried a lot of momentum up with them from doing well in the Championship. Got some great early results, but kind of falling apart a little bit in recent weeks. How do you see this one unfolding?
Very tricky match to call. I thought that Everton were decent actually against Man City. And when you look at just how they set up, they were very organized. They made it life difficult for City in that first half. And then what a ball from João Cancelo to Raheem Sterling. And that was just picture perfect, and that'll split any defense in the world. So, and then when you look at Brentford on the flip side, I mean, they're getting involved in high scoring games. Everton have been, struggling to score. And but look at some of these Everton matches as well, though. Have just had some wonky results. 5-2 to Watford, 2-1 to Wolves. I mean, it's just very tough for me to decide on how Everton are going to set up for this kind of match. I mean, I can see Rafa Benitez kind of wanting to go on the road and play very tight and try and play on the counter attack. I think that that's Everton's best shot in this one, which would lead me to believe that I think this would be an unders match. But yeah, this is like the second one where I really just don't have a good feel. I think that either team could win it. My money would probably be on Brentford if I had to. But yeah, it's just a pass for me.
Yeah, me too. Passing this one, Everton have really struggled without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They need another striker because Richarlison's a good player, but he's better out wide. And yeah, Salomon Rondon, we know, just no mobility, no pace, not really cut out for the rigours of the Premier League anymore. So no wonder they haven't been scoring many goals. Yeah, perhaps unders would be a good shout. But like you, there's been so many strange games featuring Everton recently, and Brentford just drew 3-3. So I think this is another easy pass. And I hate to say it, but I'm having another easy pass in the next game, which is Manchester City versus Everton. Very, very impressed with Man City recently, but come on, how can West Ham be 10-1 underdogs in 90 minutes against Man City when they're fourth in the table? They drew with Man City last season, having a great campaign. I can't get my head around this line. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially, with both teams played in the midweek. I left this one as well, Martin. I think if I had to play it, though, I would be trying to find Man City and get them on side. So like Man City and over 1.5 or Man City and under 4.5 would be the way that I would be looking. But yeah, I mean, West Ham are a tough nut to crack, and it's going to be a really, really good match. West Ham pose enough problems on the counter attack to keep City fearful, to keep their fullbacks, not bombing down the wings too far up, because West Ham have the threats to be able to expose Man City a little bit. So yeah, I don't think that West Ham win this match. I hope that they draw for Liverpool's sake, just for that top of the standings type of match. But yeah, I do. I have completely passed this one, Martin. I really don't have a good feel for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because they lost to Wolves last weekend. But, in their previous game, they beat Liverpool 3-2. And, I mean, they haven't lost by more than a single goal all season. They've only lost a couple of games in any competition this season. I've got plus money on West Ham, plus 1.75 Asian handicap. So even if they lose by 2 clear goals, you only lose half your stake. I really can't see Man City winning this by 3. I think Man City could win this by just a single goal if they do win it. So I'm quite tempted to go for that, to be honest. I just can't work out why the Hammers are such huge underdogs. I think it's a little bit, not disrespectful, but underestimating them a little bit there. You never know. Man City do have the potential to blow teams away at times. So tough game, which is why I didn't go for it in the official plays. But I quite like the idea of a plus on the Hammers. Okay, penultimate game. Burnley versus Tottenham. I must admit, I put my tips, I sent my picks through to the Wizard yesterday when I hadn't seen what was going to happen with Tottenham. But then it was quite a funny. Did you see the press conference from Antonio Conte after the defeat? He said, I've realised that the level of at Tottenham is not very high. That was a pretty savage thing to say about your players, like your team that you've just taken over. I mean, it was an embarrassing defeat to a Slovenian side that had lost all their previous matches in the Conference League. Shocking result. It was a terrible night all round. But so I did go for Tottenham to win this game, but I'm a little bit hesitant now. Do you think Spurs can go and win this one, Matt, or what have you got on it?
I'm like you. Like, once I saw those comments, it started to get me to think that, okay, he doesn't think that they have a lot of quality. And I know that when Burnley come up against top 6 sides, they generally do a good job of stifling. But again, Spurs defense isn't anything to write home about. So it's like Burnley could also bust this coupon that I've got here. I'm going with the unders. I mean, when I look at Chelsea 1-1 to Burnley, in the EFL Cup, Burnley and Tottenham just played. It was a 1-0, 2-0 to Man City against Burnley. So generally when they step up, I mean 1-0 to Arsenal. When they play the top 6 teams, generally the match goes under, and it's like I want to be on Burnley unders because I really like Sean Dyche and what he's done. I mean, how he knows exactly what he has at Burnley and how to get the best out of them. And I don't see Spurs like firing, multiple goals here. I mean, maybe it's one or two. Yeah, I think it's more than no more than one goal really. So because I think Burnley's defense is very rock solid. So normally this line I feel like is set at 3. I think the books are telling us something by setting this at 2.5. So I've gone unders at -114, under 2.5.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, Burnley did recently draw with Chelsea, didn't they? They're unbeaten in 4 games. This is a tough trip for Spurs, but I mean, if you look at the heads-to-heads, like you said, Tottenham won in the recent EFL Cup game. Tottenham beat Burnley home and away last season to 0. I mean, again, it's like if Tottenham play to their full potential, they win this game. But whether they actually do or not, I don't know. I guess there could be the desire to make amends for that shocking defeat in midweek. So we could see a reaction from these Tottenham players. But yeah, I'm not overly keen on this bet anymore. So I might scratch that off my list and move it on to West Ham or someone else. Okay, the final game is the big game of the weekend. We have Chelsea versus Manchester United. Thomas Tuchel, Champions League winning manager, against Michael Carrick, who's had 1 game as a manager. Man United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer without any clear plan in place after a 4-1 defeat to Watford last weekend. Harry Maguire was sent off in that, so he'll be suspended for this game. Not looking good for Man United, Matt.
Not at all. I mean, when would you ever see Chelsea priced at -175, -180 anywhere against a Manchester United side? This hasn't been like this probably ever. I want to say that's. I mean, this price is a bit insane. I mean, this is like pricing Manchester United out at like a middle table side. And for me here in this one, I think that there's only one way. I've got to find a way to get Chelsea on side. And I've got to try to squeeze out the value as much as I can. And so I've just gone with Chelsea and under 4.5 just because we know Thomas Tuchel, he knows how to squeeze the life out of these teams. There won't be Chilwell and there won't be Conte, though. So those are a couple little concerns for Chelsea, I have to say. But getting Chelsea on sides close to even money, and I think that I would be shocked if this was a 5-goal thriller. So I'll have my money on Chelsea here in this one.
Agreed. I am a little bit concerned as well about Kante missing because he's the most important player for Chelsea for me. I don't think they're quite as formidable when he's out. He for me, he's the best midfielder in the world, if not the best player in the world. But if you just look at the bench they beat Juventus 4-0 in midweek. And yes, Chilwell's out, but they had Cesar Azpilicueta, Marcus Alonso, and Callum Hudson-Odoi can play there. And then there's Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Saul Niguez vying for that midfield role alongside Jorginho. I mean, the depth of talent that they've got in this Chelsea team right now is just phenomenal. So I think they can make up for it and go on and win this game. I think Tuchel will just have too much tactical nous for Michael Carrick. And I think obviously Varane's injured. Harry Maguire's suspended. So they're going to go with Lindelof and Bailly. Lindelof and Bailly does not fill me with much confidence, especially now that Lukaku and Werner are back from injury, perhaps can play a part in this game. It's all just pointing to a Chelsea win for me. So I've gone for Chelsea. I've gone for Chelsea in over 1.5 goals. Yeah, I think 2-0, 3-0, something like that. Sounds good. Okay. On that note, to the Wizard, Mr. Wizard, please can you bring up our picks and we'll read them out. Okay. So I've just gone for Arsenal -1 Asian handicap at odds of -125 there, but you can go -1.25 if you like to bring it closer to plus money. I've got Liverpool to win to 0 at +145. You can hedge that with a small bet on Liverpool to win and both teams to score if you're a bit concerned, because I can't see Southampton getting a result in that game. I've just gone for Aubameyang to score against Newcastle. He's overdue a goal, hasn't scored in 2 or 3 games, and Newcastle have a very leaky defence, so got -105 on that. I went for Spurs, but I'm not really very happy about that anymore, so I'm going to take that one out. And I've got Chelsea to win and over 1.5 goals at -110.
If I'm also on Liverpool win to 0 at +145. Martin, I really like the Aubameyang goal scoring bet too. Newcastle, their defense all season has been really poor. I think that's a very good one. I've got Wolves to beat Norwich at +120. A couple both teams to score bets. Brighton and Leeds, BTTS, yes. Leicester, Watford, both teams to score, yes. And Burnley, Spurs, I just think it's tight. I think that either team could win it probably. So, under 2.5 goals. And Chelsea and under 4.5 goals. So let's hope for a 3-1 type of Chelsea victory, Martin.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, apology. I'm not sure what happened there, but I missed Leicester-Watford somewhere along the line. But yeah, I agree. Both teams to score there looks great. I mean, Watford just put 4 past Man United, 5 past Everton, and Leicester also have some terrific forwards. So I am all over that too. Leicester, Watford, both teams to score. Stick that in a parlay. Looks great. Okay, thank you, Gandalf. And thank you very much to Matt. It's been great, and thank you to the guys in the chat. Thank you to Edward. Thank you to Mohammed. Thank you for joining us. We're just building up our community here at BMR, but we're hoping that lots of our old friends are going to come in and take part. We're going to start spreading the word more and more in the weeks ahead. But thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hope you get lots of winners. Oh, Edward's saying Ronaldo goal at +220. Oh, I don't know. I mean, if anyone is going to score for Man United, it probably would be him. But I don't. I'm not going for that. What do you think, Matt?
It's never a bad bet, I think. I
mean,
true. That's some success with Ronaldo this year in the anytime goal scoring market, and +20. No Conte, so I mean, maybe there's a couple more openings. Yeah, I mean, anytime Ronaldo, I don't think it's ever a bad bet, because a penalty as well probably goes to him. Just little things like that. I think it's always a pretty decent one.
Yeah, I've bet on him to score in every Champions League game so far, and he has. So that's been good. I guess if you bet on him to score in every game so far this season, you'd be up. What's up, Brown Magic? Hey mate, Princeton. Do you really think our boys can beat Newcastle? I must admit, I do. I know that it was a bad defeat to Liverpool last weekend, but Newcastle and Liverpool are worlds apart. And Arsenal actually have the 3rd best home record in the Premier League this season. Newcastle haven't won a single game. I think they're going to continue to struggle until the January transfer window when they bring in reinforcements. If Arsenal don't win this convincingly, then Arsenal don't have any business pushing for a top 4 or a top 6 place. Must-win game for them, and I think they get the job done. Brown Magic's got Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal parlay. Put your mortgage on it. Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Yeah, I wouldn't put my mortgage on it, but I would very much agree with you there. I think that all 3 of those teams are going to win too. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Matt. We'll be back in about half an hour for La Liga Primera. So until then, goodbye.